What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Friend Tinoco again from North Memphis, coming at you from the south end of downtown Memphis, Tennessee, specifically the corner of G.E. Patterson and South 2nd Street. I am right now situated in Army Park, across the street, what is appropriately named Navy Park. We have the ass end of our big postal center right here, catty corner from where I am. And down the block we have the Amtrak train station visible, and of course Main Street and all of its South Main Street and all of its wonderful wonderful cultural amenities. But anyhow, so fun fact, G.E. Patterson used to go by up until recently Calhoun Street, but Calhoun was a champion of segregation and a Confederate asshole, and so we couldn't have it named Calhoun Street. But of course, I guess in reaction it was named Calhoun Street because back in 1866 it was named South Street. So this was South Street, I guess, because this would have been the south end of what was the metro part of Memphis, right? Of course, it's sprawled much further away from the bluff since then, but unfortunately something else occurred here. We have the 1866 Memphis Massacre. So basically we had yes, it was a massacre. Dozens of people lost their lives, and several black ladies were violated by a mob of white dudes and police. This was instigated because there was, think about it, 1866, the South had just lost the Civil War, and so there was an occupation, let's say, or an enforcement of this area by Union, now U.S. Army troops. Come on, Union troops. U.S. Army troops. There was actually a mostly black troops stationed at Fort Pickering, which is a little further, even further south of here, along the bluff. I think over by the Channel 3 Drive bypass or something. But anyhow, so one of these dudes, I think it was definitely a black soldier, but I don't know if it was from Fort Pickering, was something around here, minding his own business, perhaps, I guess. Police try to arrest him. And a number of black residents came to his defense and fouled up the arrest. And then there was an escalation. Well, the troops from Fort Pickering busted that up real quick. All right. So but there was an outrage in the city. So the orders were given for the troops to go back to Fort Pickering. Okay. Well, that was a dangerous thing. Dangerous thing. Because the police and the mob came back and performed basically a pogrom-style attack on the black community here, and leveled and burned over 100 buildings around where I'm standing right now. Houses, churches, businesses, schools, flattened to the ground. I will tell you that very recently this place was very barren. Before there was a lot of, basically a lot of strategic development to take advantage of the density of cultural assets that are around here, and tourist assets. Like we have Beale Street over there, FedEx Forum, very close. We have the National Civil Rights Museum, very close. So obviously, it was going to lead to a lot of increases in density in this general area. All right, so one highlight that was very, oh, by the way, By the way, the immediate aftermath of this was, according to this this wonderful plaque that commemorates the Memphis Massacre. Unfortunately, one of these one of the consequences of this uprising and then suppression and then, how would I put it, the burning down of the black community in the south end of Memphis, Tennessee, was that there was an outrage nationwide. This was a national story, and it led to the 14th Amendment, where everybody who was a citizen could vote. There you go. Well, too many people gave their lives for this, unfortunately, at the hands, and too many women lost integrity of their own bodies at the hands of no good miscreants, including the ones in the MPD back in the day. MPD formed in 1827. Of course, they were around in 1866. So this is one of their very unfortunate episodes. So I want to tie this back into George Floyd and Derek Chauvin, but because I promised you a second version of that. But recently we hired in Memphis a new police chief, Cerelyn Davis. Cerelyn Davis, a long veteran of the Atlanta PD, and her recent post, we hired her away as chief of the Charlotte PD. So now she's the Memphis chief of police. She left a job in a PD which was probably a comparable size to this one to come here. God bless her. She came very, very recommended, was one of several qualified candidates, and obviously nominated by the mayor, and 11 to 1 to 1 abstention, 1 voting against, in our city council ratified her nomination, basically hired her yesterday as the new Memphis Police Chief. Hear, hear. Wish you all the best of luck. Now, Martavius Jackson of Memphis City School dechartering fame was the one voted against. He wanted there to be an internal candidate to be promoted within. If not for any other reason, I agree with the other 11. Not that there haven't been as many prominent problems with the Memphis PD as there have been with Louisville, with Minneapolis, with Cleveland or Columbus or New York City, as they have been recently. And mostly, I guess, because there has been African American leadership in there, but they still have been model citizens. I can tell you right then and there. Let's consider the history of police forces in this country. All right. Do we need reform? Do we need training or different hiring practices? Or do we need to remake the whole thing? I will argue we need to remake the whole thing, because the history of these police forces, as we know them, hope I don't get boxed in this parking while I do it. As we know them, as we understand them, okay, Memphis PD, I don't think would have originated as such, but many police forces in many smaller cities were formed as successor agencies of the respective slave patrols in those municipalities and counties. Somebody stole my line and said, "Oh, these police force has a slave patrol mentality." That's my line. But anyway, I didn't publish it soon enough, so I probably won't get credit for it. But other police forces that, of course, in New York, notably in Chicago, larger urban areas formed in order to control the large immigrant tenement dwelling populations that had come from, left all they knew, had come over here to this side of the pond, including Memphis, let's say, and were disenchanted with how life was here and what their rank and standing in society was. So in order to quell this dissatisfaction, of course, you need police to keep them at bay, right? And other agencies never changed from their ignominious beginnings, like they're the Texas Rangers. Well, they've been the Texas Rangers ever since before the independence of Texas from Mexico. And they've been behaving badly towards Mexicans and Mexican Americans since then, and to a large extent to this day. But anyhow, so the lady who killed that 20-year-old in Columbus, and I forget her name, was a field trainer. Derek Chauvin was a field trainer. They did not lack training. These people do not lack training. One of the older of the three guys who ran down and hunted and shot Ahmaud Arbery in Brunswick, Georgia, last year. Two of those three guys were a father and son. Two of those three guys were veterans of the Brunswick Police Department. So they still would have been members of that same organization, whatever they are. I'm not talking police department, I'm talking maybe KKK or something. They're a member of something. Because you can't explain the behavior of some of these public servants without them purposefully doing so in order to advance their ranking within something they belong to. Like a gang. They exhibit gang behaviors. And unfortunately, if you look at the strange indirect collaboration with prosecution, or district attorney, let's say, who criticized the prosecution's case against police chiefs, let's say notably in Ferguson, that's very odd. Why was the DA criticize the prosecution's case and methods? Well, and things never being allowed to be properly considered within a grand jury, so indictments don't get handed down. Well, there's larger collaboration there. So yes, I agree with the 11 who voted for to ratify the nomination of Ms. Davis as Memphis Police Chief. We need a wholesale change in the methods of policing. This is not a mystery. All other industrial nations get this right. We have so many more, thousands of times over more deaths of unarmed people at the hands of police. So many more extrajudicial executions at the hands of police. It's about to rain in the United States than we do in other countries of the world. Every other country in the world has crazy people, has distressed people, desperate situations, whatnot. Oh, it's really raining hard. Good thing I parked close. Anyhow, so I'd say pull it from the ground up and reconsider policing. Get the white supremacists that we know are in our forces out. of policing. Continue to blur the thin blue line that has been obviously been rendered useless in the defense of Derek Chauvin, because then that'll be one of many steps complete towards the proper standing of black and brown people in this country, especially with respect to the interactions they face and enjoy with police, because what we have is indefensible. It needs to be the role of police and the profession of policing needs to be reconsidered, needs to be reconfigured, reimagined, reestablished, and we need to root out the white supremacists in these forces all over the country, whether it be big city or small town, whether it be border patrol or park police or whatever. So, anyhow, this is a friend Snowco telling you what you need to know and not what you want to hear. We will all have rights when we all focus on our obligations. Thank you.